Pick a card. What kind of villain are you? Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Psychic MD, and I'm here to do your pick a card reading. And we're going to be doing what type of villain are you? So with that, your choices are pile number 1, pile number 2, or pile number 3. And I'll keep those out in one picture so you can actually look, study it, and select the one you want. We'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, if you have chosen the Bone Collector, pile number 1, this is your reading. My name is Griselle with Psychic MD, and I will be reading for you today. Making sure this is on for us. So you've chosen the Bone Collector with the number 1. And hopefully this translates on camera pretty well. But we've got bones all over the place, like owl bones and ram bones or deer. And it looks very much like she has encircled himself, this person has anyways, with a bunch of, I don't know, like a traditional circle type of a thing. So maybe you have kind of hemmed in everything about yourself, and you are just looking at your inner resources. And I feel like that makes you really, really happy. I do feel like you're tapping into your crown chakra. And your happiness with less is almost infuriating for people who have more. Now, I don't want to say, let me, explain this to you or tell you what I mean by saying that. But I definitely feel like something about you just being content with the status quo of what you have, okay? Not the status quo of what people have, but what you currently have, what you really value, even if you are super elite or whatever, and you have everything that the 3D world offers you. I feel like what you value the most is what's inside of you. And I feel like with the Bone Collector, you could be somebody who's actually interested in like taxidermy and hobbies like that, anatomy and physiology, the mechanics of how things work, but also because of the brain, the psyche. I feel like you could have a very vivid interest in psychology, and you apply that into your world in ways that people have never seen before or really never thought about. And this could really make people uncomfortable around you. They could feel a little bit infuriated that you get your downloads. And I feel like even that you're right about things, and it can make them uncomfortable or unhappy. So I'm going to move this way, and I don't know if I'll get in trouble from YouTube police, but I guess we'll find out. I have Creating a New Self as being the card that comes next to it, because I wanted a little bit more energy as far as why this is. And I'm not going to pull this on camera, because if I have to hide it, parts of it, then I will do so before putting it in the frame. Okay, I want one more card, and that's definitely going to be a card that I have to hide. Of course. Let's see what we can use here. We can use this actually. So this says the flow of inspiration. So that is your other card right here. So it's a lot about you looking within yourself and pulling out elements that you just love, being in touch with spirit, communicating with spirit. You could be somebody who does a lot of like automatic writing. You could be a reader yourself. You could be a nomad, a wanderer, an explorer. You could be somebody who really talks about deep things. I mean, bones are something that go beyond like the material, beyond where you live, what you have in your bank account, what you wear, what you drive. They go beyond your skin and what it looks like. They go beyond the bones and the fat and the many layers of blood vessels in the drive. And it gets to the very nitty gritty, the core of what frames you, what holds you upright. And I feel like that's really why you are a villain in some people's stories. which is quite interesting. We're going to get a little bit more information for pile 1 here. By the way, the Bone Collector is one of my all-time favorite in this deck. All right, let's get a little bit more energy. Why are you the villain? Okay, 8 of Cups. So the villain is because maybe you walked away. You walked away from materialism. You walked away from people. You have carefully poured, measured, really tried to balance everything out in a different world, different realm, different chapter of your life. And you decided, you know, that didn't bring me happiness. It didn't bring me any closer to what I wanted. I'm seeking my 9th cup, my inner joy, inner happiness, the sense of completion. And I feel like people can see you recreating yourself through going within, and it really kind of pisses people off. Coco, did you have something to say? So I have here I think this is the King of Cups. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. The King of Cups, and this is about like people offering you maybe love, offering you emotion, speaking to you in a manner that can offer you all of those things. But I feel like you're the villain because you just don't take things at face surface. You are not interested in even people coming at you with like love offers or emotional offers that have nothing to do with your inner core being, the new self that you have built or that you are currently building or that you're allowing on the external 3D of yourself, if that makes sense. So whereas before, maybe perhaps you're keeping up with the Joneses or really making an attempt or fulfilling duties that other people projected on you. I heard shame. Okay. Other people try to shame you into. I feel like you're no longer accepting that role. You are ass out, ass up. I don't know. But regardless of that, I feel like you are definitely within the flow and inspiration. You are doing what makes you happy. And once again, listening to your spirit guides or your higher calling. And in a lot of ways, you could be going in on like on an inner journey, very similar to like what the Buddhists would do. Meditation, things like that. I have here, this is the King of Wands. Very fiery, very passionate. And the reason why you're a villain in this person's story, and many people, oh gosh, this one jumped out. We're taking that one too. We're taking you too. Don't worry, honey. Give me just a minute. So you're the villain in this person's story because you awaken passion and desires in them that they would rather not explore. I have to see how this is presenting in the picture frame. So I'm not throwing my voice. Okay, that will, I guess, work. It will work. But yeah, so you ignite a fire and a flame and a desire in them, and they like to kind of feel like they have it all together, that they're not, you know, led by their root chakra or their sacral chakra, their lower extremities, basically. But I feel like you could be the villain in people's stories because you leave them, I heard the word, so inflamed with like curiosity, with desire to step towards you, with a desire to want to rescue you maybe for some of you, or just to take you, because this could be like a rescue situation, or this could be like, I'm taking you on your mind kind of a thing. And male, female, whoa, hello, doesn't make a difference. Okay, I wasn't intending on that, but we are taking this. You could have people like battling for you or fighting for you. You could bring out like people that battle within themselves is what it is. The root of the problem, and it's not really a problem, is that you're focused on enlightenment, illumination, and things of a higher calling. And you make people, you can't make people do anything, but people around you, when they come into your energy, they wrestle with who they really most authentically are. And anything that's been hiding in the shadows, anything that they've been dedicating themselves to that doesn't bring happiness or bliss, which is your natural state, I feel like they think, well, why can't I leave that too? Well, what makes you so special? I feel like you bring about fights, internal fights within people, but also external fights with suitors, I'm getting as well. You could have a very nice butt that people want to look at. But I feel like these are many goes and many competitive things within a person that makes them kind of struggle internally with balancing what they present to the world and what they really desire. And that struggle of, well, I repressed it for so long, and until you came along and showed me that you don't really give an F about pretty much any of this, that you're going internally and you're living authentically. And now I kind of feel like, what the hell, I'm cornered. I'm 9 to 5, and I have this really good job that makes 6 figures and a family that depends on me, and I have this image that I need to uphold, and yet that's not really what I want. At the core, I want to be like, at my fundamental core level, I want to strip down to and be who I really am at the core level, behind the scenes, I guess. I hope that makes sense. But you're going with the flow, and that really does piss people off because they feel confined. That's another reason why you're the villain. You are absolutely the villain, but you are designed here to create awakening in people's lives, create tower moments also in people's lives. So the biggest thing is you inspire people, I'm going to say, to really look at what needs to be left behind in their own lives, of what their own tower moments. And they feel like this is a threat, because if you're living so freely and so authentically, and they are living this 3D world that really doesn't have a lot to do with their higher self, their livelihood and their mind get threatened. So, and they could not know this. It could be just instinctively how they're reacting to you. And yet I want to say that you present very, very well. Like this new creation of yours, you could have gone on a diet, or something about you looks very much attractive, like less is more. And maybe you're kind of like, yep, I don't have anything, and here I am, and we're doing this, and no big deal. But whatever it is, you stimulate so much tug of war within people's hearts and the pit of their stomachs that, they can get resentful towards you. They could want to kind of like, you could have people ghost you, go into no contact. You could have people try to poke fun at you also. Another manner of them trying to kind of, I heard the word lubricate. That's not really what I was thinking about, but it's a manner of self-soothing. They can feel better by standing on your neck, basically stepping on your own neck, right? And I feel like time and time again, you go through cycles where you show people how you level up and you get better, and you can like do better simply by being your most authentic self. And this creates like these torches being lit in the darkness. And it's like, I didn't want to look at this. I didn't want to look at the fact that I want to be a ballerina, or I wanted to study gemstones, or I wanted to travel the world, and instead I took over family business, or I did what was expected, and I'm just not happy. But I'm happy on Saturday and Sunday. Really, that's not living. So that's one of the many reasons why you could really be the villain here, why you are the villain of some people's stories. Again, going with the flow, it's like you're very fluid. You are dancing with nature. When things change and don't go exactly as planned, you just kind of change your balance. And it's not like this is done without difficulty. But I feel like the fact, oh gosh, I almost crumbled my card. Don't do that. The fact that you do it so fluidly does piss people off. They kind of like, they're like, well, do you ever struggle? How can you go about life not knowing? Yeah. Okay, next up, I have this guy that really jumped out. He's actually one of my favorite in this deck. I'd never seen him before today when I started doing the readings for the week, and hopefully you can see that. But this little guy right here is the Four of Pentacles. You cause people to want to kind of shut down and hold on to what it is that they, any offer that they think that they may have, even an offer of friendship or a business or something else. I realize that they're not dealing with a regular cat, that you are a mystical creature. You are different. You're connected to cosmos, connected to nature, connected to the heavens, to spirit, in ways that people can't really quite explain. And I feel like you cannot cause anything. Once again, other people around you may withdraw and stuff their feelings, their emotions, within themselves. Next to you, they feel like they are going nowhere. They're ineffective. This one doesn't have any no hands too. He's got nubbins, or she's got nubbins. So they could feel like, it doesn't matter, like whatever is in their hand, or whatever they're doing and whatever they're headed towards because of their feet. It's small in comparison to you, and you're definitely the villain for making them feel small. They feel ineffective. They feel like, well, how can I walk without these feet? But they're just looking at coins and looking at, well, this is my destination, is money. My eyeballs are made out of money, and my mouth is stitched shut. I will go with the narrative, go with the flow, that flow, which isn't very much a flow at all. And so I feel like people can plunge into depression around you, but most of all, I feel like this voodoo doll apparently feels like it's in a little casket. or about to be put in a casket or in a closed area, similar to a small casket. And I feel like this is saying that not only do people kind of repress what they are feeling or thinking and hide towards you, and why they resent you. I heard for some why they hate you, and it's not like you on a personal level, but you bring out these feelings in them. But they want to stuff everything within their own being. They want to stuff it down into a tiny spot where it never gets questioned. They never think about it again. Yeah. Anyways, this one jumped out too, and I almost crumbled it. Okay, this is the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like why you're the villain as well is that you are just happy by yourself, content by yourself. I feel like you could have familiars, animals around you that love you. I feel like you're in connection once again with Mother Nature, with the moon. The moon can have a major significance here. And the moon has a lot to do with like the subtle realms, the ethers. Is it ecoplasma? Ecoplasma, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But I feel like you're aware of a lot of the subtleties and you have a higher perspective on nearly everything. And that kind of just pisses people off because I feel like people are thinking, well, you have all the answers, don't you? You're a know-it-all, don't you? And it's not even about that. It's just that you're really trusting the universe and spirit on what spirit is telling you personally. And how they choose to react to you, that is definitely their own choices. But you're definitely here to be kind of, I heard, in juxtaposition of, you know, the 3D world, to cause other people to really question what it is that they're doing. A moment in pause, I'm hearing. So that's another thing. And you are the villain. What? This is so badass. I'm gonna have to show you. And once again, I hope this translates. So we have the 7 of Wands. So you are the villain because you will defend this to the death. You're like, I will light it all up on fire. You don't need to come at me and tell me I'm going to burn it down. I'm going to burn it down for you. It doesn't matter. This fortress, this home, and I'm talking metaphorically. Don't get into like any, you know, pyromaniac behavior. But I'm just saying that this is like you have the fire to deal with anyone that comes towards you or at you. Stating anything differently. And that really kind of makes people mad, is that you're willing to defend your stance, defend yourself. And I feel like it's solitary, like you're doing your own thing, and that really infuriates people. It pisses them off, and they don't really understand it, and it causes a churning within themselves. But what they don't understand is that spirit is utilizing you and whatever it is that you're going through in order to motivate and prompt people to start thinking about themselves. Yep. And the end of the reading, bottom of the deck I have is the 9 of Cups. This is personal fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. This is being happy with where you're at, content. This is feeling solid on the throne that he's sitting on, which is really definitely different than where the Bone Collector is sitting on. And I think for you, this is all about emotionality, being able to celebrate with people that get you or on the same journey with you, or honoring spirit and how far you've come. I don't think it's been easy, by the way, not at all. And I feel like also you could be people's wishes, and this could really make you into the villain of other people's in other people's stories, simply because you are a new creation. You keep reinventing yourself, and you go after what makes you happy, what makes you inspired, and what makes you feel solid and safe. And the ease with which you move is really deceptive. I feel like people look at snapshots and they make snap decisions. But regardless, I feel like you are inspiring change, movement, tower moments, and examination of where people are at in life and why they're doing what they are doing in order to pursue really the question of how can I be someone that is living my truth and happy? How do I pursue my ultimate happiness? What does that look like? And why does it have to be deeper than, you know, the 4 walls and the marriage and the kids and this and that? So I feel like you're asking people, you, the villain, are asking people to stop and question. How can they make life mean more? How can they fulfill their purpose in life on a grander scale than they ever thought they could before? And yeah, you, the villain, are inspiring all of this. So much love to you. Hi, pile number 2. My name is Griselle with Psychic MD, and I'm here to do another reading for you. You're going to hear me walking around as I prep the camera, just make sure everything's still within frame. That's just how we do here. But if you chose pile number 2, Heal the Ouch, the number 38, this message is for you. So first of all, welcome to my channel. Those that are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. And those that are repeat offenders, thank you so much for stopping back. We have Heal the Ouch. And I feel like you're the villain in people's story because you bring out things or topics that are hurtful to other people, not deliberately, but you make them remember like why this was painful to them, and you want to kind of nurse them back to health. Interesting, right? But you're the villain because they don't want to appear vulnerable. They don't want to appear like there's anything about them that needs healing, that, you know, it's like an embarrassment. I feel like you're the villain because people get embarrassed that they actually have hurt that needs healing. And don't we all? That's part of being human. Heal the Ouch. The Great Theater of Life with the number 30. This lady is like, you know, stop that. That's the end of it. I don't want the end of like your lies, your words. This is behind the scenes. So maybe putting on a facade in front of the world and not really talking about maybe this person levitating behind her or sitting behind her, but really playing your part. I feel like this is you being the villain because you really expose fundamentally, without meaning to, by the way, that people have given up on themselves, given up on their dream, and they have stood aside in order to make way for other people's expectations of them or society and what society expects of them. Example would be you need to take care of your family in a certain way and make sure they have a home and food, and you know those things are not bad within themselves. But I'm gonna say that, you know, I feel like you've been living a double life. Some of you guys have, and not many people know, but no, I'm sorry. Other people have been living a double life, not other, and you're privy to them living a double life is what I'm trying to get at. That was really hard to say. And I feel like also this person can try to explain things to you, but then get all tangled up and confused. But basically, yeah, you're the villain because you expose to them that they're really just in a theater, kind of going through motions, not really living life. And when they do, it's behind the scenes, behind closed doors. Maybe perhaps their family doesn't even know. This could be like maybe you have maybe these people around you, not you, have other people in the equation, like other lovers that their wife or husband doesn't know about, the significant person doesn't know about, things like that. And you expose that to them, almost like your life is, you know, we need to heal that. And they know this about themselves, but they enjoy like the dualistic side of themselves. Plus also they don't see a way out. They're like, I want my cake and I want to be able to eat it too. And you're a villain for even pointing out, just by living your life, by the way, that this might not be for my highest good. And why are you the villain? Because you made my conscience unhappy. Can't even say that word. Yeah, so you make me feel like this is wrong, but really you can't make you can't make anyone feel any certain way. So you're the villain in the story by exposing to light what is hidden in the dark that people feel instinctively that they know they have to do away with, or they need to heal in some way, shape, and form. Some of these people, by the way, have children. I heard all over the place, but that's not really quite where I was going. They may have kids with other people, baby mama, things like that, that their core family doesn't know about. Yeah, living a double life almost. The muse living in my dreams. So also this person looks a little bit like JFK, but I feel like healing the ouch, your healing maternal instinct, your nurturing instinct can also slant you or spotlight you as being a villain, because people like that gentle touch about you, how you expose things that is hidden in the dark into light in order to be healed, that you really present with rhyme and reason and simple ways of just living your life, not even like pointing to anyone else, that this is easily done. If people should want to do it, they can do it themselves. And I guess I shouldn't be flippant and say easily done, but that they can do it themselves. but muse living in my dreams. So I feel like you're the villain because you could be the like the dream girl, dream guy, because you're so loving, so nurturing, so healing. Something about you is extremely healing, and that can make people desire you. Both male, female, doesn't make a difference. People want to take action towards you. People want to keep you maybe even as a mistress or like Sancho. I don't know what they call the male version of that. But anyways, I think that you live rent-free in many people's lives, especially people that are physically, mentally, emotionally attracted to you. So, and that's the thing is like, I feel like you're the villain because you're the total package, and they're living this life of, I don't know, I don't want to say falsehood, but it's not authentic for sure. And not everybody can be like 100% authentic. I mean, you know, we all go to jobs or go to the store and we have to put our best foot forward, or in a sense, kind of a mask. Yeah. But when it comes to like your fundamental self and like what you really desire, who you really are fundamentally, there is a need for healing. And I feel like that brings out resentment in other people. Kind of like, how dare you say there's something wrong with me? I don't think you said that at all. Okay, the Four of Cups. Hopefully you can see that. But this is being handed over by a skeleton hand. And it's almost like somebody's saying, I don't have anything to give you. Yeah, okay, so you're the villain because when people offer you something, they know it's substandard. They feel like, well, I already have a family, I already have a Sancho, a mistress, I already have things going on, but I also want you. That could be one of the reasons why you are the villain in people's stories. It's like, wow, I really, you know, like what I see. I'm attracted to this energy. I feel like your energy in your body and the way you think is really, really different than what they've ever encountered before. And it leaves people thinking. Also, what makes you the villain is that I feel like people can see what you've been offered or have been offered or are being offered currently. And you're like, nah, I don't want that. Like, I don't care for it. And it can piss people off because, you know, people around you may not understand or may think, well, what, you're too good for that? You're too good for me? You're too good for that? Why isn't it not good for you? When in reality, this is hitting a wound within themselves, and it's a trigger that they need to explore. This one I had in my hand. Okay. So the Three of Cups here. So why are you the villain? You're the villain because, well, everybody else is partying and having a good time, and there's nothing wrong with having a good time, enjoying yourself, enjoying company, friends, family, drink, whatever. But I feel like you're the villain in people's story because you tend to, even though you're present, you tend to go really deep within. And I feel like you can see people and they can see you, but you are not part of the fray. You're not, even if you're like clink, you know, cheers, there is a huge degree of separation because of the depth that you have. I think that at any point in time, you are maybe even looking to connect with other people with that level of depth, and they're just is not a lot of people around you that have that depth to them. And that can make people feel resentful. And it's almost like, well, why can't you just like let your hair loose and have a good time? And it's like, well, I heard I'm preoccupied with like deeper things. And I don't know any other way to be. One time I was asked, you know, wow, these are like really deep conversations. Can we not talk about something that's not so deep? And I'm like, I really don't know how. Like, I don't know what that's like. I don't know. And besides, like, I guess I do know what that's like, but I'd be bored to death. I'm like, how's the weather? How are the Dodgers going? And, you know, do you think it's going to rain today? Is it going to be over 100 today? I have no interest in that. Oh my gosh. I'm going to grab these two. Also, I feel like that degree of separation from you to others can be very like alluring, and people can just kind of almost want to put you in resin. So they can look at you. I feel like they want to examine you, examine your life, examine like your emotions without getting their hands dirty, without coming forth and saying, wow, that's an interesting idea, and share this and be vulnerable about themselves. That's not something that people really want to do. They don't want to touch it, but they want to view. They want to be a spectator. And you're definitely a villain because I feel like your mannerisms call people into a higher vibration, again, more depth within you, and they ask questions within themselves. Also, I think it pisses people off because they're intrigued. They're like, I just want to drink and have a good time. But now I'm intrigued and this really irritates me. I don't think they know why it irritates them. I was trying to get this to come in clear, but this is the Queen of Wands. So you could have a lot of this energy within you. You are a mover and a shaker and a candlestick maker. I feel like you could have businesses or side gigs. You could be a manager, a boss, or simply you could have the answers. When people need an answer, they come to you. Or even, you know, at work, they're going to ask you before they ask anyone else. And the weight of what you say tends to be heavier than what other people say. I feel like even with the piano back here, you could play music, or something about you is very musical. You could have like really piano playing fingers, piano playing fingers. Well, anyways, I had a doctor tell me that one time, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay. But you could really illuminate a lot of different things, and I feel like the way you handle yourself is really quite regal, but also I feel like you are detached, that separation from other people. And I feel like it's because you get in your head, you're in your mind most of the time. You're not really thinking about how does this come across to other people necessarily. You're like deep in thought. And because you're comfortable within that space, I think it can go largely unnoticed by you that other people are a little bit like, well, you must think that you're better than me, that kind of a thing. And therefore it causes other people to want to attack you. And with the crown right here, and she is, you know, the Queen of Wands right here, I feel like people, you're the villain because they're like, oh, well, she thinks she's royal. He thinks he's royal. Who the hell do they think they are? That kind of a thing. And do you think you're deeper than me? Do you think your emotions run deeper? Do you think that you're smarter? That kind of a thing. Do you think that you're way too good to rub elbows with us? And why is this wine not good enough for you? Like you have 3 in front of you. Again, 3. So this could be saying also, like some people want to pull you into they want to triangulate you. They want to pull you into like a third party situation, and you're not having it. You're giving them your back, right? You're putting your hand in front of their face and saying nope, and saying that wound is something that you need to heal. But they find that very, very attractive by the same token. And this is almost saying, unless you get into the water with me, you can't have me, that kind of a thing. So there's a lot here to unpack. Look at this. So I think this is the Chariot. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I love this card so much. But this is stating that, you know what, you may drive or have a nice ride. You may have a panache for luxury. You may look really good in the color red. You may have really beautiful long hair, I heard long brains. What is that? Long legs. You may kind of demand that people snap their back in attention and be their very best. People, if they take you out, they know that they have to be like on their best behavior, or that you like vintage cars or appreciate a really nice vehicle, something like that. But they know, or they feel intuitively, that you expect people to be cavalier. I heard chivalry, maybe even. What is that? What is this? Okay. So this is the Ace of Cups. Yeah. And I feel like you're holding very in touch with the moon, with intuition, with subtleties. I feel like you can feel the room change. If people have had a fight and you walk in there, you can feel the tension. You can pretty much be in tune and know exactly what's going on. But I feel like you're really receptive to emotions, things that flow, free-flowing. I think things that are like authentic. I don't even feel like this person has a glass, which, you know, the cups. I don't even think this is a real cup. This is like, I'm going to hold that Ace of Cups, which is the Holy Grail, right? In the palm of my hands, because it gives me joy. This gives me joy, and it gives me joy to really have other people understand that as well, and tap into what their own inner joy is. I don't feel like you're wanting just people to emulate you. Okay, if this one came out in pile 1, you might have an intuition that you want to look at pile 1 as well. If you want to, it's great. If not, it's fine. Yeah, but this person, I feel like this would be an offer of love as well. And so, yeah, so you have maybe even a ghost from the past, a hand from the past, somebody behaving even the way someone did in the past, trying to offer you love or something, a drink that you just don't want. You're like, been there, done that, not interested. I'm looking at this versus, you know, what's in front of me, that kind of a thing. You could have somebody who wants to fly towards you, who has a lot of deep emotion towards you, that wants to support you, that feels like they get you, that looks at this whole blue, similar to this green, and they want to tell you, it's like, I see you for who you really are. And I feel like this person is really moved. I feel like you're very evocative. You are a villain because you evoke a lot of emotions in people that they don't understand. And therefore you evoke fear. And fear is a great game changer because a lot of times people want to run away from fear. What is that? Fight, flight, or fawn, right? So we go through all those stages. And I feel like you're somebody who presents so well, and you're kind of, is your energy inadvertently. You're the villain, but you cause people to choose. What am I going to do? Am I going to, you know, fight, flight, or fawn? Or am I going to really examine what this fear is and move towards love? Oh, hello. So the energy of love, I feel like, is the highest vibration of all. And this could be, you know, platonic love, for example, love for a child, family member, things like that. It could be a romantic love, or love for humanity as a whole, or love for animals. It doesn't make a difference. But I feel like something about you is extremely healing. I heard a balm for my soul, and maybe people can feel that way about you, that you are a balm. With the candles right here, I think that, yeah, you cause people to really kind of ignite in a powerful, passionate way. I think that you're the villain because people react to you instinctively in a sexual manner. Male, female, doesn't make a difference. But what really pisses people off is that they are forced to self-examine themselves and they feel inadequate. A lot of people feel inadequate, and that's why you're the villain. It's like, well, what do you mean I'm not good enough? And yeah, so we've talked about that a little bit. So you could be having a love offer here, or somebody could actually be obsessed with you and their other partner knows about it. And then this person, I feel like, more free from attachment, but I don't know if they're on the same level. Last card. Four of Swords right here. You could be healing. And that's why you understand healing the ouch. You could be healing and going deep within yourself. But while you're doing all this inner work, it is inspiring. I'm going to say inspiring other people to do the same with healing. So take some downtime, facing your monsters of old, monsters of new, depending on what this is for you. If you're liking this kind of reading, by the way, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And I'm super excited for the next read. Namaste. Hi friends, my name is Crystal Psychic ND. If you chose pile number 3, then this reading is for you. You chose the number 44 with strength. I'm going to get a little bit of sagey sage here to get going. For those of you new to my channel, welcome, welcome. And for those of you that are repeat offenders, thank you so much for stopping back. Uh-oh. It's like this, is it? Okay. So the number 44. First thing that I'm going to say is you chose the Strength card. And I feel like you're the villain in people's story. The type of villain that you are is a natural villain. I don't think you have to try hard for people to kind of look at you side-eyed. And the reason why I'm saying that is because she's holding the world here. So this villain is literally holding the world. She's got the world in the palm of her hands. It may seem like you are incredibly favored. I'm going to say that you probably live a life that you are favored by spirit in some way. I feel like with the number 44, 4 always tells me that there's a lot of balance there. You could be very fortunate. You could come across things quite by accident. People could do you favors, things like that. And I feel like you're the villain in people's lives because they're like, well, I want that. So I guess that would be envy, unfortunately. Also, you're the villain in people's story because you learned how to master yourself, your inner demons. You faced the things that make you jealous. You faced the things that have perhaps caused you to feel inadequate. You face the things that make you feel tied and bound into a shape and form that you don't like. And I feel like you've superseded that version of yourself. I feel like you are in your 2.0 era, and you're the villain because I feel like you have escaped. escape the matrix, I heard. I feel like you are incredibly just free. I feel like you're naturally just very beautiful. I don't think you have a lot of like pretenses with like how you dress or how you portray yourself. You could appear like very free. When you laugh, a belly laugh, and there's no let me look at myself self-consciously type of vibe. Now, purity of purpose. Yeah. I feel like you could be the villain in people's story because you have escaped the matrix. And this is causing people to question their own participation in the matrix. If you've seen that movie, pardon me. But this could be like maybe you talk about like dimension hopping, maybe you have a channel that's about conspiracy theories, and this can make people really uncomfortable or angry because you've like radically changed, or the things that you say spark something uncomfortable in them that cause them to want to explore things. And some of the things could be, for example, you know, telling a friend, hey, you know, this orange juice has a lot of like long-term chemicals that you can't release from your body, and you might want to look into it, and they could get, you know, pissed off about that. But I feel like also your purity of purpose here, people see that you don't have a motive. It's not like telling your friend, hey, don't drink this, or kind of, you know, do your own investigative research about this because this is what I'm looking at and I don't think that's you know, healthy for you, whatever. That could really piss people off. But also what makes them angry is that you are on point. They don't understand. They don't have the ability to reconcile like how you're breaking out of the matrix, how you are able to look at things differently, and do research and actually come up with really good arguments or really good evidence that, you know, for example, that there's a lot of propaganda in the world, or that we've been fed garbage for years and we are still, especially in the US, being fed garbage. Yeah, you are the villain in people's story because you have a laser focus. You're not giving up because you will get down and dirty. This person doesn't care. She rips her jeans. If her plumber's crack is showing, she don't care. She's very confident, very focused, with a laser focus on, I feel like, aiming arrows at things that are inauthentic, unhealthy. I heard whistleblower. So you could be somebody who is a whistleblower, by the way. Pile number 3, if you're liking this kind of reading, please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Feelings of an awakened heart, okay? So I had to cover this up with these gems and charms simply because it had naughty stuff showing. I don't want to get flagged on YouTube for it. But anyways, number 3, I feel like you enlist collaboration. I feel like with the purity here and her being like in the buff, almost naked, it's saying that you don't really have an agenda. Again, it's like people are really astounded that you are pure. It's not like, oh, wow, join my channel because, you know, I studied this conspiracy theory and I have all this evidence and I want to help you with it. And you're doing it for clout. That's not it at all. I feel like you have people's welfare at heart in the forefront of your mind. And you are looking at what is right rather than what is easy. You're willing to go against the grain. You're willing to laser focus regardless of what people think about you. I feel like also you are somebody who could be whispered about, like, oh, like people think, is she okay or is he okay? And they seem kind of unwell or unhinged, or, you know, like they can not so subtly want to imply that there's something wrong with your mental faculties or emotional breakdowns or something like that. Hello. What is this? Yeah, but really you're just following your North Star. You're looking at the signs and symbols of the world, of the universe. And I feel like, honestly, you're achieving a sense of freedom from it. A sense of freedom from looking at the world in a manner that we were all conditioned to look at it as. And I feel like you've asked yourself a lot of hard questions. And in order to make this leap into a more natural state, I think that it's been very difficult. But consequently, it's put you in a different playing field. I think almost it's put you in the forefront. And people are resentful of that. You are the villain in people's story because you could be the talk of the town, crazy or not, right? And I don't think, by the way, you're crazy. I do think that people are trying to portray you that way out of jealousy, out of fear of what they will find if they give merit to what your words are speaking, or anything like that, to your laser focus. And I feel like you're willing to take the hit. You're like, you know what? I don't care if you think I'm this, that, the other. I come to you completely in the buff, just so you can see that I don't have an agenda. I'm looking at the welfare of mankind. I'm looking at the health of mankind. I'm looking after Mother Nature herself, whatever it is. You're coming with truth. And I feel like this is divinely inspired. With all the blue in the background, I feel like it could be very emotional for you, speaking your truth. This also could cause you anxiety. So what people don't see about you is that speaking your truth causes you a lot of anxiety, even if you're at the very front lines of like exposing things or whatever the case may be. Maybe you do like podcasts or you collaborate with other creators, and but whatever it is that you are doing, I feel like it's gaining momentum, and it is your laser focus that is incredibly inspiring. So if you're having any doubts and things like that, pile number 3, I feel like a lot of this is energetic projection of other people wanting to doubt you, because it's easier to make you feel crazy than to wake up and look at the world for what it really is at this point in time. That's what you could be saying. You're the villain. Look, you're the villain of this story because you make the hands come out in the middle of the night. The monsters come out from under the bed, that kind of a thing. You cause people to look at the number, like the 3 of Swords, what can potentially be a heartbreak, heartache, and a lot of deception with the 3 of Swords. You make them take a look at that and kind of, I think people shut down when they hear you speak, or that you're alluding to something. People that are not quite ready kind of have like a really big reaction towards you, and it can manifest in many different ways. It can manifest in pettiness or trying to downplay you, things like that. But that is not the truth. This is all subtle realms and being done around you. Yeah, you could be seen as a dreamer. What is that? Knight of Wands. Interesting. Knight of Wands is somebody who's like in and out energy. So this could be saying that some people could see you as like, oh yeah, she goes through this phase and they'll be done with it pretty soon. But I think that this is not a phase. I think that you're bringing to light whatever it is that you're meant to bring to light. And also with this like Lover's card right here. Interesting. I feel like you do have people spying and looking at you, looking to see what it is that you're connected with or whom. Looking to see if you are attached to anyone else, things like that, which is like so disjointed from this reading, because I don't think that you're even thinking about that at all. I am feeling a lot of like energy of like the Mayans and the sundial that can have a lot to do with it, and what you've been studying or thinking about. And yeah, I feel like I heard the word relentless. You could definitely be a psychic yourself. I think with the High Priestess here, you have your own intuition, incredible intuition. I feel like you have the ability to know when to move, when to duck, and when to leave. And with the Queen of Wands right here, I feel like people can feel like this is that you have competitive energy versus cooperative energy, and that's just really not true. And the reason why they're saying it is because you're a villain for forcing them, in their minds, of course, to look at things differently, or to even deal with you if you're in their personal space. It's like you, for example, like in this card, 2 friends hanging out, having a drink or something. And this could be saying that, okay, everything that you bring out into the light gets dealt with by many different people, and it brings up many different monsters of people, even like 3-4 degrees away from you. You're not even connecting with them. You're connecting with your friend. And it had an effect on your friend, which affected other people around them, and so on and so forth. So it's like a domino effect, right? Hope this, let's see if that's even on camera. So pile 3, these are really, really powerful messages. I'm hoping that it is pretty clear. Yeah, what this is about. Show me more about why this person is a villain. Why is pile 3 a villain? I mean, I think you have great poise. You bring everything from the dark into the light. You expose things. I think that you're very vulnerable. You're very real, relatable. I think you're very solid with the way that she is straddling that rock right there. And I don't think that you're going to be letting up anytime soon. And it makes people uncomfortable because the grounds that they're standing on, what they have been building on, is shaky at best. Okay. Yep, I think this could be even talking about money affairs or things like that, or even about the Great Banks right now. Rumored to be undergoing some major changes and shifts, rumored to have been supporting for years and years people like, you know, Epstein and things like that. There's all those connections to be made, and foundational things. People are wondering, like, how is that going to affect if this is true? And no, you're crazy, you're the villain, you're a crazy villain, basically. Yeah. And then right here, I have the Knight of Wands. So I feel like you bring people a lot of passion, a lot of desire as well. You could have a connection to pile number 2. A lot of dreaming, daydreaming. Red could be very symbolic here. I feel like you could be a life, or you could bring people back into the living, okay? Here we go, back into the living, and here is the 3 of Swords that we were talking about. So healing from backstabbing, betrayals, from lies, deceit, things that have never been true, things that maybe you're telling people, you know, we were programmed to do this. And if it's not that slant, it's just, you know, bringing truth to the matter of things. With the 4 of Pentacles, this is about people not wanting to really fess up how they're feeling about you, their jealousies, the way that they look at you and resent you maybe from looking so free that you have responsibilities that they do. So they project a lot onto you, project you as the villain in the worst sense of the way. But what they don't see is that you suffered great heartache, heartbreak, and you're trying to prevent that in other people. I do see that people kind of fiery, want to come towards you, like romantically. Romantically, is that a word? Yep. You could be hot. And people from your past want to come back too. They have nostalgic memories of you, and they're like, wow, he is hot. They've undergone a lot, and obviously that is very attractive. Why is it attractive? Because you have depth that a lot of people fail to have. Then we have the 6 of Swords right here. Yeah, so you've been through it. I feel like you could be really verbose about things that you've been through in life, exposing those as well. With all of this blue right here, it could cause, you know, rumblings among people, rumblings, lightning, thunder, eureka moments of, oh, I understand why they never visit Uncle Todd anymore because XYZ, you get my drift. And right here, fundamentally, you are looking for balance. You're calling for balance, for justice. You're looking over your shoulder because you know that a lot of people are out there actually hating. My friend, if you are a villain, this villain number 3, people want to stuff their emotions. They want to play dead. They don't want to admit to it, but they want to conquer you in a lot of different ways, mostly in the bedroom as well. I feel like you bring up a lot of things, emotions that people don't want to face and understand. And the way that they want to deal with it is kind of like getting rough and ready with you in the sack. I don't know why that's coming out, but it is. And that is all I have for you. Pile number 3. If you're liking that reading, you know what to do. Much love to you. Until next time, namaste.